Hi everyone, good day. This video is the continuation of our report. So I will discuss today the third philosopher, which is David John Chalmers. So David John Chalmers is born on April 20, 1966 in Sydney, Australia. So David John Chalmers is a well-known Australian philosopher who focuses on the mind and consciousness. And also he is most famous for talking about the hard problem of consciousness. So, David support a view called naturalistic dualism. Okay, what is naturalistic dualism? What does naturalistic mean? So, David says that science can explain how the brains works, like how nerves send signal to your brain or how the body moves, but it can't fully explain consciousness. Even if we understand the brain completely, we still don't know why we feel things like happiness or pain. So this is called the hard problem of consciousness. Why hard? It's hard because it's about why and how we have inner experience, so the physical science alone can explain. Okay, for example, let's say you're looking at a red apple. So science can explain this. The light from the apple hit your eyes and your eyes send signal to your brain and the brain processes the color. So science can explain that how that process happened. But David asks, he says, how we feel things inside. Like the red, he says, what does red look like in your mind? So this feeling or experience called qualia. So qualia means is kanang imuhang perception or feeling ana nga butang ug lahi pod of perception or feeling sa uban. Like pares na mo nakita pero lahi mo og perception. Okay, for example, ako og si Marco. So ako og si Marco nagtan-aw mi og sunset. So like akong pagtanaw sa sunset is lahi. Ug iyang pagtanaw po sa sunset is lahi pod. So mao na ang qualia. Like lahi mi og perception or feeling ana pero parehas mi og nakita. So, qualia is real, it's natural, but it's not physical. It exists alongside physical processes, but it's not the same. So, that ends my report. Thank you everyone for listening. That's all. Thank you. That ends my report. To be continued, my co-reporter will be continued. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. I am Marco Vicios and I'm going to discuss to you the difference between naturalistic dualism and mind-body dualism. Mind-body dualism, according to the theory of Descartes, our mind and body is separated. The mind is our soul, the bodies are the physical. I give you the example, the mind commands our body to move. That's according to Descartes. But in naturalistic dualism, according to David Carmels, in naturalistic dualism, there's only one physical substance. In this physical substance, composed of two kinds of properties. Those properties is the physical properties, which is our moving of the body, and the mental properties. Those are belong the consciousness and feelings. I give you examples. For example, like when you're playing piano, if you're playing piano, your mind is deliver a signal to your fingers to tap the right key notes. That is the physical. And while playing piano, you feel also a calmness and enjoyment. That is the mental. So, according to the theory of naturalistic by David Carmels, both mind and body are part of natural universe and can be studied using by scientific method. That's all my part. Thank you.
Hello again class, I am Hani Galvizo Ifanis and today we will be talking about the other two philosophers with their contemporary perspective about the mind-body dualism by René Descartes. These philosophers, namely Galen Strawson and Philip Goff, were both British philosophers. However, they argue with the idea of René Descartes about the mind and body dualism, in which the mind and the body are two completely separate things. Thus, they have this principle, which is consciousness is the fundamental feature of all matter, and they come and support this theory called panpsychism. So what is this panpsychism? So in panpsychism, Philip Goff and Galen Strawson believed that everything in this world has its own consciousness, even the smallest particles. So gatuo sila nga tanan nga butang nga naa diri sa kalibutan is normal sa ilaha or normal sa tanan nga butang nga naa diri sa kalibutan ang naay consciousness or naay awareness. For example, ana is ang ato ang respiratory system. 'Di ba? Dili naman ta kailangan mo ingon nga sige, inhale. Pero dili naman ato kailangan suguon ang atong respiratory system sa pag-process anang oxygen nga atong gi-inhale para i-exhale nato siya, which is ang carbon dioxide na din na. So naay gakahitabo sa sulod sa respiratory system, and that is the consciousness. So kanang consciousness nga naa sa respiratory system, even smaller na ang respiratory system, mao na siya ang magbuo sa usa ka thing. So mao na siya ang ginatuohan ni Philip Goff and Galen Strawson nga everything in this world has its own consciousness. Therefore, kanang smallest particles nga naay consciousness is mao na siya ang mag-build sa usa ka butang. Kanang for example ang atong respiratory system, mao na siya ang kung wala na siya or mao na siya ang nag-build sa atoa para mahimo ta nga complete. For ang ato ang consciousness or ang ato ang awareness is mag-allow sa atoa para maka-move ta smoothly, diba? So kung wala tay awareness, dili ta maka-move smoothly. That's why argue sila or dili sila agree ani kang René Descartes nga ang mind and body is two completely separate things. So para sa ilaha is ga work gyud ang both. Kung wala ang isa, wala ang isa. Another example ana is kanang sa PE is kanang magdula ka og basketball. So ang imuhang mind, which is ang imuhang consciousness, siya ang magsugo sa imuha or siya ang responsible para makahuna-huna kung unsa imbuhaton, whether to dribble, to score, or to pass the ball. So kanang imuhang consciousness, siya dayon ang reason nganong mo-act ang imong body. Sige, nakauna-una ka nga sige, dribble. So, ang imong body is siya ang nag-dribble. Therefore, your consciousness is the signal for your body to respond. So, mauna siya ang panpsychism. So, furthermore, to compare the mind-body dualism by René Descartes and the panpsychism by Philip Goff and Galen Strawson, I will give the time to Miss Dency Pantoja.
Hello everyone, my name is Dency Ann Pantuha, and today we're gonna talk about the panpsychism versus mind and body dualism. So the first is the Cartesian dualism made by René Descartes, and according to him daw is the mind and body are two totally different things. The mind is non-physical, which is our thoughts and our feelings, while the body is physical, which is ang matter, and only complex beings like humans have minds. Nganong gitawag ta og complex beings? Because kanang maka-think ta properly and makabuhat ta sa atong mga gusto, unlike sa mga diba, sa mga animals. So mao to siya ang concept or idea ni René Descartes sa Cartesian dualism. For example, sa iyang idea diba sa iyang theory is gisite niya dadto nga ang the mind and body are different things. Kay kanang for example nga kanang when you decide to move your hand, and di ba ang gagibog command ana, which is ang ato ang mind and atong mind ang gagibog command and mag-follow na din di ba ana ang body. So kanang ang katong pag-command nga I want to pick up that cup, mo siya ang ato ang mental, which is gigamit ato ang mind. And the next is katong movement sa imong hand sa pagkuha nimo sa cup is mo ang physical, kay ga execute man di ba physical. And the next one is kanang the panpsychism dualism by Strawson and Goff, and according to them daw is and the mind and body are not separate. Kumbaga usa sila, and part na daw sa matter ang consciousness sa usa ka tawo, ang dili na daw siya mawala pa. And kanang kumbaga consciousness exists in everything, even in tiny particles, not just in humans. So, and para in a simple terms, para ma-comprehend ninyo kay very broad ang among topic is ang Cartesian dualism made by René Descartes is the mind and body are separate, and ang katong panpsychism dualism by Strawson and Goff is the mind and body are one and everything has a bit of consciousness. And to conclude it all, many kanang modern thinkers nga ga-study about anang mind and body dualism started by René Descartes. Kay some of them man god is they agree nga it's really hard to tell or to explain how our human thoughts nga ni fit sa physical world, but they disagree nga ang ato ang mind is different substance daw siya. Instead they they think nga consciousness comes from the physical matter itself as a natural or universal part of reality. So before we end our discussion or our presentation, magbilin lang mi og kanang quote about sa among topic, and para mahinumduman ninyo ang among topic nga nya na di ay siya. So, more to guys. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.